Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're digging into the brand new rulebook for tech, the Emerging Technologies Bill of 2025. Now, this isn't just about the latest phone or gadget. Nope. This is the official blueprint that's going to shape everything from your privacy online to your job opportunities for years to come. Look, we're surrounded by these incredibly powerful new technologies. AI, blockchain, you name it. They promise to do amazing things, but they also come with some pretty big risks. And that brings up a really important question. With everything changing so fast, who's actually in charge of writing the rules to make sure it's all safe and fair? To get to the bottom of that, we're going to walk through the government's new plan. We'll start with the big picture, then we'll meet the new agency in charge, get into its mission, break down the actual rules for tech, and finally, see how they plan to keep this whole thing in check. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Why does this bill even exist? Well, on one hand, it's all about pushing technology forward to boost our economy and our productivity. But, and this is just as important, it's about creating one single, clear set of rules for ethics and safety. You know, all this new tech is really a double-edged sword. On one side, you've got this incredible promise of economic growth and innovation, but on the other, you've got the very real dangers of things like algorithmic bias, the spread of misinformation, and major privacy violations. This bill is basically the government's attempt to grab all that promise while taming the peril.
So what are we actually talking about when we say emerging technology? Well, the bill gives us a pretty wide-ranging but clear definition. It's basically any new system or tool that has the power to totally shake up how we live, work, and even how our government functions.
And this isn't some vague, abstract idea. The bill gets really specific. It calls out the big players that are already changing our world: artificial intelligence, blockchain, the Internet of Things, cloud tech, and even what's coming next, like quantum computing. This is the playground these new rules are meant for.
So if the bill is the blueprint for our tech future, then who's the general contractor? Who's the one wearing the hard hat actually tasked with building all of this?
Well, say hello to a brand new entity, the Emerging Technologies Agency. And let's be clear, this isn't just another boring committee. It's a full-on government body with real power, the power to buy property, to sign contracts, and to lead the whole country's charge into this new technological era. Now, what's really smart about this agency is that it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. Section 13 of the bill actually requires it to have specialized divisions for each major technology. This whole setup is designed to make sure you've got deep expertise focused on the unique challenges and opportunities of every single field, from AI all the way to quantum computing. Okay, so we have this new agency. What is its mission? What is it actually going to do? Well, its job description is pretty huge, but you can really boil it all down to three main goals. First and foremost, its goal is to rev up the economy. The bill tasks the agency with making our country a magnet for tech innovation and investment. And it's specifically targeting key areas like healthcare and finance to get them up to speed fast. Second, and this is so important, it's about people. The mission isn't just about big business. It's about empowering everyone, especially young people and folks in communities that have been left behind, with the skills they need to actually succeed in this new digital world.
And third, it's going to be a watchdog. The agency is responsible for creating the safety standards and the ethical guidelines that are meant to protect all of us. And that covers everything from product safety and consumer rights to the rules for how our data is handled.
All right, this brings us to the very heart of the bill, what it calls the guiding general principles. You can think of these as the fundamental, non-negotiable building codes that every single piece of new technology in the country has to follow, period.
And the bill takes a very clear, very strong stand against bias. Just look at this quote from Section 22. It is powerful. It says, flat out, the technology cannot be used as a tool for discrimination. It doesn't matter if that bias is baked into an algorithm or if it's just reflecting our own human prejudices.
The bill also tries to build trust with two key pillars. First, transparency. We, the public, have a right to understand how these systems work. And second, human oversight. Section 29 makes it mandatory for a real person to be in the loop for those critical decisions that affect our lives, whether it's in healthcare, law enforcement, or even getting a job. So what does all this mean for you? Well, it means these principles are designed to directly protect your fundamental rights in this new digital age. They're there to guard your personal data, protect you as a consumer, help shield you from misinformation, and even make sure that tech doesn't end up harming our environment. But hey, let's be real.
rules are just words on a page if nobody enforces them, right? So who are the inspectors making sure that everybody actually follows this new technological blueprint?
What's really clever about the bill's approach here is that it doesn't create some single all-powerful tech czar. Instead, it divvies up the responsibility to the expert bodies we already have. So for example, Section 35 says the Electoral Commission handles threats to democracy, while the Data Protection Authority guards our privacy. It's a smart way to use the expertise that's already out there.
And you better believe these rules have teeth. If you break these guiding principles, you could face some serious administrative penalties. We're talking up to 5,000 penalty units. That's a pretty hefty fine, and it's designed to make sure people think twice before they break the rules.
But here's what might be the most important part. This whole thing isn't just about the government keeping an eye on companies. Section 34 of the bill explicitly gives power to every single citizen. If you believe your rights under this new law have been violated, you have the right to take them to court and seek justice.
So, there you have it. We've looked at the blueprint, the contractor, the mission, the rules, and the inspectors. This is the comprehensive plan that's on the table right now, and it's trying to strike that delicate balance between innovation and protection. And that leaves all of us with one final, really big question to think about. Is this the right blueprint to make us truly ready for the future of technology?